All right, here is the store walkthrough I know a lot of you guys have asked for, a lot of you have been waiting for. Thank you so much for commenting, asking for this, and I hope you enjoy this. This is the walkthrough of how my Fairview location looks as of November of 2024. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is the first antique mall I ever moved into to sell trains back in 2021. So it's almost 4 years old. As of January 21st, this store location will turn 4 years old, which is crazy. This is the only store right now of mine that has an operating layout, which you just saw. And now we're going to get into some of the more, finer details about the store, some of the things I've got going on here. Here is a t-shirt rack and hat display, lots of railroad themed memorabilia, merchandise. If you're into railroad themed clothing, I got a lot of that. Here are some awesome Menards buildings. I need to do a full video on Menards soon because I'm a big fan of them. But here are some of those buildings. Love all the moving details and lights on these pieces. Here's a bunch more of those hats. Once again, tons of just trucker hats with, railroad logos on them and things like that. The Fairview booth is a 10 by 26 space, which is definitely the biggest booth I'm in. Here are some NASCAR items I picked up a couple days ago from a gentleman that came in the store. Typically, I don't buy NASCAR stuff. It just is such a hard sell because it's just so saturated, but he gave me a good price, so I picked him up. This drawer here has all kinds of loose track in it, easy track, power lock track, all sorts of Thomas track as well. This pegboard wall is a lot of new in-box diecast, and here is a really cool piece, a horseshoe curve stained glass piece right there, and then a few more things you can hang on the wall of your train room. Of course, gotta have the train room decorations if we're gonna have a train store, of course. Lots more pegboard items. There's some Bachman Thomas stuff in there. There's some Mantua NFL stuff in there. Lots of flatbed loads, new in-box track, all sorts of things like that. There's a little bit of a hint of some of the Lego stuff right there too. We'll get to that in a minute though. This shelf here has some of the really cheap O-scale cars on it, like $5 and under kind of things, and then some boxed HO items. Really a pretty wide variety of stuff there, brand-wise. That shelf just has some miscellaneous toys and puzzles and things, kind of just filler for the Christmas season coming up, trying to get rid of some things that I had. And then here are some things that are actually really cool, and I'm sort of surprised they don't sell better. It's these little wooden kits with paint in them, and you can put together your own little train engine. I've only got them for, I think, $2 or $3 a piece. So, sort of surprised those have underperformed, but that's okay. Always a gamble getting into sort of unknown territory like that. Some HO and O-scale rolling stock on this shelf. Top shelf here has a little bit nicer O-scale stuff. Nothing crazy. It's still, $15 and under O27 cars. Little lifelike setup there by my favorite brand of all time, of course. And then we have a cool Walters turntable. Here's most of my blue box stuff with a few other brands thrown in there too. Boxed O-scale rolling stock here. Wide variety of stuff. Williams, Rail King, Weaver, pretty much everything. And then down there, just in time for Christmas, we have the lighted fast track. That tub at the bottom there has a bunch more Lego items in it too. Here's probably my favorite shelf in the whole store, and what is probably going to be your guys' favorite too. This is my loose HO rolling stock shelf, and I'm pretty proud of how much variety I have for HO rolling stock right now. As you can see, lots of different variety of cars, lots of flatbeds, reefers, boxcars, tankers, you name it. Road name wise, it's all over the map. Lots of steam and first generation diesel era stuff right now. A lot of it's L&N and Seaboard and things that are kind of related to the area too, which is cool. Even got some Amtrak stuff at the bottom there. We'll get a closer look at this shelf here. I mean, there's pretty much any road name you could want that predates 2000. I've got something here represented. This little basket here has a lot of loose N-scale items, all individually wrapped in these little card holders to protect them. I think the prices on this stuff is all pretty reasonable too. Lots of just kind of, Bachman, older Atlas, things like that. Nothing unbelievable in the N-scale world, but I definitely think there's some cool items in there too. Top shelf here has a lot of the Bowser stock, which I love Bowser, great company. Really want to get more of them, especially more of their engines. And then we got one of those custom wooden train carrying cases up there, if you remember those from a past video. Here's another display case full of loose HO rolling stock. This has some really cool things in it. This has the cabooses with custom marker lights added and some other just kind of higher end HO stuff in there too. A lot of things sort of in the $15 to $20 range with Cadence, metal wheels, metal trucks, weathered, you name it, it's in there. And this wall here is for all the Lego kids out there. I know I was a Lego kid my entire childhood, and I love the company still. As you can see, this is all individually packed and bagged Lego parts. I've got them price matched to Bricklink, and they are actually cheaper than they are on Bricklink, and they've all been organized, part number and everything. If you need a Lego piece, I probably have it. This 3-tiered table, I'm still working on getting exactly what I want set up on it, but here's a lot of Christmas Village and just building stuff. Again, with the season coming up, I'm trying to sort of move some items that came with train collections the last year that are sort of more Christmas related, and that's sort of why there's a, an influx of Christmas stuff in the booth right now. Usually I don't have that much holiday related merchandise, of course, but trying to get rid of some things right now. Here is my Thomas and Friends display, and I need to get a bunch more Thomas stuff in this store. I've been focusing mainly on Thomas stuff being in the Nashville store since it's a toy store, but I've got some Take Along and Trackmaster and a few other things. These Roundhouse displays I actually have filled with die-cast and things. They used to hold all my Roundhouse cars, but I found that the space was kind of better suited for just these loose items so that people could read the side of the boxes. I put them on the shelves instead. This one here has got all my Lego minifigures. There's a huge variety of those in there too, and I think the prices on those are all pretty reasonable. They're all price matched and lowered from Bricklink, which is kind of the main, Lego marketplace these days. This pegboard display here, a lot of miscellaneous, just kind of supplies, I'll say. Lots of figures, lots of scenic stuff. There's some really cool railroad memorabilia items here. That's a Chicago and Eastern Illinois zipper. I don't really know exactly what that means, but it's a cool piece for sure. And we'll end here on, probably the best display in the whole store, in my opinion. This is probably my favorite and what's going to be yours. The engines, that's really where the highest end stuff is in this location. I feel like the selection here is pretty solid. I think it's the best it's been for a while. A lot of nice HO stuff in there. Pretty much everything you're seeing on screen is DCC and sound. There's some Proto 2000, Athearn, Atlas, everything's in there. And then for O-Scale, I think everything down there is MTH except for that L&N Jeep, which is a Lion Chief. But there's the Fairview walkthrough, guys. Thank you so much for requesting it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to see you in the store very soon. Thanks for watching.